Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the JakKlauZ podcast, or the JakKlauZ show, whatever the hell you want to call it. I think we're going to call it the JakKlauZ show from now on, because, for some odd reason, it's a show. It's something that I do, I love doing, But you probably are sitting there like, yeah, Jack, you're just basically talking to yourself and you're doing what you got to do. So, the JakKlauZ show, welcome to another episode. It's another beautiful Wednesday here in Minnesota, my hometown. Place that I love to be. Place that I talk about everything that happens in my entire life. I finally caught up to all the episodes of Jersey Shore Family Vacations. I watched all of them. I binge-watched every single episode to finally get to Jersdays now, which is Thursday, to watch, the new episodes, as they come out. And I've noticed something about the show. And I noticed that there's a lot of things on the show that I really love about the show, but I really and truly have to base myself out of characters that I kind of base myself with. I'm loud like Paulie. I'm funny and witty, and I carry myself kind of like Ronnie. But, I'm really lonely and alone like Vinny. And, and I'm old like the situation, So I'm kind of like all the guys rolled into one, but I'm my own kind of character. I have my own kind of thing about me and the things that I do in my entire life. I've always sat here and wondered, what is my purpose in life? I mean, I want to be an ordained minister. I want to, understand, I want to understand, God and His scriptures and His stories and everything else. But the one thing that I really and truly want to, figure out is, how the hell am I even supposed to get anywhere in life when you always sit here and you're worried about money all the time? Like, you never, they always say that money's the root of all evil, right? But you need money to live. So, like, I bought all these fruits and vegetables and everything, and I started using my juicer, and then I realized to myself that my juicer isn't like the ones that you see like these other people using. It's just mine's just like a one-shot juicer. Basically, you just throw the stuff in it. You push it down in the plunger, and then it makes a glass for you to drink one juice, This other juicer that I'm watching this guy use, and he fills this thing completely full, and then he turns the thing on. He locks the hopper down, basically, is what he does, and he fills the whole entire pitcher. And I'm like, dude, that's what I want to do, But then I go to the grocery store and I buy all these damn fruits and vegetables, and I buy all these things, and they don't last long enough. Yeah. It's like you can never make juice fast enough for any of this stuff to stay, fresh. So, how the hell do people do it? What do they just, keep their refrigerator, on, frozen or what? I mean, I don't know. So, I've been taking I've been taking fruits, and I've been putting them in plastic bags and then throwing them in my freezer. Oh, fucking motherfucker. God damn it. I'm definitely freaking having a great day. Yeah, I'm just having a great freaking day. I haven't been sleeping very good because I've been thinking about all kinds of shit. Like, y'all know this girl that I've been talking to. I've been talking to 2 girls in my life. I've been talking to 2 girls in my life, and the first girl I met a long time ago, and her name was Marcella, and she came back to finally, come back here to work in Brainerd, and, she was somebody that I was talking to, and it turned out that all she wanted to be was friends, and I respect that. I understand, I get it, right? And now I'm hanging out with this other girl named Jess, who I love so much. I think she's really cool. Seem like I'm confusing her all the time when I'm just being myself, because I don't really know, I don't really want to say the wrong things to fuck it up, because I don't want to be alone anymore. And one of the things about me is that I have abandonment issues. I hate being by myself. And if anybody knows me, if anybody knows who I am, I always like to have people around me, fans, friends, people that have always been in my life that have been really cool. But I don't know who are my friends anymore, because sometimes, they disappear. They don't talk to you anymore. They hang out with you every so often, and then they go do their own thing. And, it's like I miss them all the time. And that's why I do these lives, is because, one, this is my way of telling my friends, my people, look, guys, I miss you. It's like I need you guys to know that I'm okay, that I'm not, going through, I'm not. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm not going to do something stupid. Today, I was just sitting here, and I was at home, and I was sleeping, and I woke up in the middle of the day, because I was supposed to sleep till about 8 o'clock. I got about 7-8 hours of sleep, and I realized to myself that I was hungry, because I was feeling hungry. I had a growling in my tummy, and I just wanted to basically just, be myself. Just wanted to, to just eat something. So I made myself 2 burgers, eggs, and cheese. I put eggs on them again. And I did 4 eggs, made a big, made like a big egg. I mixed it all together, and then I, put them on top of the burger, and they were so good. It was just so good to have. And I was cooking at home, and I was feeling good about myself. But then I sat there and I realized to myself, I'm not in a good mood. I'm not in a good situation. I'm beside myself, Yeah, I'm beside myself. And I just feel like everything that I've ever done in my entire life has just been a fucking waste of time. Like, you know, if I do something good for myself, like I think I'm eating healthy, I'm, you know, like, say I, you know, like make a juice for myself, or I juice, you know, carrots and cucumbers and celery and all that stuff, and mix that together, and then I make it a juice, and I think yeah, I'm doing good for myself, you know. And then I sit here and I'm like, nope, I'm the same fucking person that I was 35 years ago. A fucking loser who couldn't even be with a woman, you know? And I still can't even be with a woman, because I can't be with her because she's gone. Yeah. Because she's not even in my life. She's gone now. We're going through a divorce. And I keep on thinking back to myself, dude, I'm going to start another relationship with somebody, and am I going to fuck this one up too? Because I just don't know what the fuck I do wrong all the time. I just feel like I'm everybody's mistake in this entire world. I haven't even been able to figure my own self out. I can't even love myself. I don't even know what I have to do anymore. I mean, all I want to do is just be happy. And then I keep seeing things all the time about how, you know, if you believe in God, good things will happen to you, and you'll be a multi-millionaire, and you'll be loved and everything else. I just think that I need to get off of social media. But if I got off of social media, then nobody would know KamoKlauZ even existed. Nobody would even know who the hell I am. And all I wanted to be was to get paid to be on my own reality show. All I want to do is just make people happy and, you know, and try to be cool with them. But I just feel like I'm just drifting away. I feel like I'm never gonna go through that door of happiness. I mean, it's right there, but every time I try to get to that door, there's always somebody in my way. There's always somebody telling me, Jack, don't go through that door. Because if you go through that door, you don't even know what to expect. I want to find my pursuit of happiness, but I don't even know where the fuck to start. I used to think coming to work was my pursuit of happiness. I used to think that, you know, sometimes I wish now that, you know, it was me instead of Dustin. I sometimes wish that I wasn't around. And I don't know why that is. A friend of mine, I talked about Dustin, and he's part of the He's part of the Virginia Chronicles. I talked about him on one of my podcasts, or on one of the shows a couple weeks ago. I talked about his motorcycle accident and what happened with him. And I sometimes wish that it was me instead of him, because, you know, he had everything going his way. Yeah, he had everything going his way. He had a great job. He had a great success. He was working on getting a girlfriend. You know, he was working on doing what he had to do, but he was living his life, and he was doing it for the fullest, and he was going out there and having the greatest time of his life. And I was going through hell. And because I was married, I was dating a chick named Jamie. Yeah, I was with a girl named Jamie Samar, and she and I were going through the shittiest lifestyle. Yeah, and then I was Jamie, and then it was Casey. Yeah, it was Jamie, then it was Casey, and my whole entire life was going through shit. I had nowhere to turn to, nowhere to go. I had a truck that I couldn't even make payments on. I ended up getting fucked up at a job because I had a garbage truck or a garbage can fall on me and literally knock me on the ground. And I thought I was gonna die. I literally thought I was gonna die. But then I woke up and everything was fine, and then a couple days later, then Dustin gets killed. And Dustin didn't deserve it. Dustin did not deserve to die. And I never would, and I never want that on anybody. And then I had people always sitting there telling me, you know, that I said some things that I didn't say, and, you know, everybody was like coming down on me, and then I said, you know what, I'm just going to leave, and I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to move away from Virginia, because, you know, I don't need to be here. So I went down to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta, I went back to Virginia, and shit went to hell in a handbasket. And then I went to Virginia, and things just panned so crappy that I didn't even know where the hell I was going. But there's not a day that goes by that sometimes I sit here and think to myself, what am I actually here for? I mean, what's my purpose? I always thought that I was put on this earth to make people laugh. But you know what? I'm starting to think that I'm put on this earth for everybody just to use me as their scapegoat. For everybody just to say that I'm their problem. You know, there's not a day that goes by that I sometimes don't sit here and think, what the actual F am I doing here? I've always, when Jake lived out here, when my friend Jake lived out here, he was going to school at that McNally Smith School of Music or whatever, out in St. Paul. He was going to school and he came out here, and I took him out on the lake, and I showed him where the pond hockey championships are, and I showed him Lake Nokomis, and he was like, there were beer vendors and there were semi trucks out there, and I said something about going out there, and he's like, I don't know, I don't really want to go out on the water or out on a lake. And I said, it's frozen enough, but I haven't talked to Jake for a long freaking time. No. I haven't talked to Jake for, I don't know what, it's been a month, maybe a month and a half. I don't talk to Jake like I used to. I don't even talk to Jordan like I used to, I mean, I want to get back into doing music, but I don't think that'll make me feel so damn bad. I remember when people used to love me, when people were happy to see me, when people were happy to see me, people would say, hey man, it's really great to see you, Now it's just like, yeah, whatever. Did you bring food? I think now that I'm getting older, and I'm getting to be, getting close to someday being 50, I mean, I'm turning 46 this year, it just keeps on dragging along. And I just think I'm never ever gonna experience anything fun in my life. I'm gonna be right there, but I'm not gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so people have goals. They have things in life, and one of my goals is to, decently have enough money to one day buy a nice house with a garage in it that I can, have a lift in it. That's what I want. I've always wanted a house with a lift, meaning that I have a place that I can drive my car up onto, lift it up in the air and work on it, so I don't have to go to Valvoline, or I don't have to go to Jiffy Lube or any of these goddamn shops. I have a lift. And then my friends will come over to my house and use me for my lift. That's what I think would happen, because that's what's going to happen anyway. But you want to know something? They know that they have a lift somewhere, and they're going to come and use it. They're going to use it. They're going to use it, and they're going to be happy. And then I'm going to have enough land and a big, huge farmhouse, so we can drive around in our ATVs and our UTVs and, snowmobiles and stuff like that and have a good time. Or in the summertime, have a nice big parking lot where we can park all of our cars in the grass and have a nice car show and a big bonfire at night. That's what I'd love to have. I would love to have me a big farmhouse where people from Minnesota After Dark and Tracks Revolution can all come together and be one big happy family. And then I die, and then I give it to somebody from Minnesota After Dark, like Michael, or I do something. to where I feel like I actually, lived a great life, and then I handed it off to somebody who was, a friend of mine. Or I just gave it to somebody because, they wanted to have a special place to go. And then they remembered me every time that they would come there. I don't know. It's just one of those things about me, dude. That's just one of the things about me that I want to do, is because I always want to give back to somebody. Because I figured if I give enough, someday somebody will remember me for it. The whole KamoKlauZ thing, I'm not trying to be a celebrity. I mean, I'm trying to make Minnesota or St. Cloud be known for something better than a guy who sits in a Ford Explorer with flags on the back of his car, and people call him a pedophile, and people call him a pedo and everything else. I mean, the St. Cloud Superman guy, I don't know anything about him. All I know is that he's a guy who sits in a Ford Explorer, he's got flags on the back of his car, and he is basically, sitting up at Burger King, and he's trying to prove a point. But the thing is that he's doing something, and I don't know what it is. But, maybe that guy has a story. Maybe he has something that he wants to tell people. But I want to keep doing KamoKlauZ all the time and go somewhere with it, and be recognized. I mean, I understand that it's not until December that anybody's going to think about it, because, that's when Christmas is supposed to happen. But I love Christmas so much because I was born in December. Yes, I was born in December. Yeah, I was. 1979, December 4th, But sometimes I don't feel like I'm even part of the family that I was born into. I sometimes think that there's something about me that's missing. But I'm trying to rekindle the fire with my parents. I'm trying to love my mom and dad. Because I don't know what's missing with my parents, but I just feel there's something missing with my parents when it comes to me. Like I'm not their favorite, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not their favorite, like I'm their mistake. And I'm trying to rebuild that mistake. I know they probably are listening to this and they're probably going, Jesus Christ, Jack, why don't you just shut up? Well, the thing is that I'm not trying to start anything. Wow, this is a big accident if you're going on 94 to the airport, you're going to be stuck for a while because there's an accident on Highway 25 and it looks like there's cars all over the place. Yeah, if you're going to Highway 25, there's a crash up here, so if I were y'all, I'd be getting ready to park, because it's pretty bad up here. Something bad happened. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, it's a big crash on Highway 25. They closed the road down on all kinds of lanes. I mean, it looks pretty freaking bad. Anyway, but my parents, I'm trying to rekindle the fire with my parents. I'm trying to make them understand and make them realize that I love them and I don't want to jeopardize anything with my family. I love my family. And, I just think there's a time and there's a place for everything to happen, and it has to happen pretty soon, because my life needs to change. Because every day I feel like I'm missing out on something. What the hell are you getting over there for, dude? Just stay in the fucking lane. It's not going to go any faster if you go to any other damn lane. Why do people in Minnesota think that just because the left lane's going faster, that it's so much better to go in that lane? You know, why the hell don't they just stay in the fucking lane and drive down the road and just get there, and then when they see a sign that says right lane closed, then start to move over? It's like they try to find out where the fucking accident is, and then when they get there and they realize to themselves that it's right on top of them, they're just stupid. I mean, everybody's over here in this left lane, and the lane's going to move over because it goes to 2 lanes after Monticello and Buffalo. It does. Yeah. So all these semi-truck drivers that are in the far right lane need to move over. Yeah? So that's why everybody's moving over. This one guy's going to do a U-turn and go all the way around. Yeah, everybody's going to do a U-turn because they don't want to freaking sit in traffic all damn night. You know, these people have never been on 494, or they've never been on 494, or no, they've never been on 495 or 95 in Virginia. They've never been to Atlanta. They've never experienced what it's like to sit in your car for 45 minutes to an hour. They never have. All my friends that live in Virginia and everything, you know, we know what it's like to be in a car accident and sit in 495 traffic and wait till we get up there to see what goes on. But everybody just wants to turn around and go back on the other side and cause another accident on the other side of the road because they think, hey, you know, if we just, you know, drive down the road, things will happen. Well, I know we're all going to have to get over, so I'm going to move over because I know the semi-trucks are going to want to get over from the right-hand lane. I just know that because that's what's going to happen. All the trucks that are in that far left lane or far right lane are going to move over here. So I'm moving over to give the semi-trucks some closure. Not doing it because I'm trying to, you know, win any fucking brownie points. But, you know, there was a big, huge sign that says, crash on 25, road shut down. Didn't tell you what lane it was in, right or left. But, I mean, obviously it's somewhere up here in Bloomington. It probably is cleared out by now. Or it probably just happened. Knowing my luck, it's probably somebody who fell asleep at the wheel. Yep, somebody who fell asleep at the wheel or was texting and driving and ended up crashing. Because that's 90% of the time what happens on these damn roads. Is because everybody's so goddamn important. Their cell phone is so goddamn important. They have to be on their fucking cell phone all the time. I'm not on my phone. No, I'm not on my cell phone. I'm not. My cell phone is in a cradle, sitting here, recording me, and I'm talking to you guys, because that's what I'm doing. Yes, but I'm not touching my phone, I'm not texting anybody, I'm not telling anybody what's going on. I'm sitting here, trying to figure out why I'm here. Why do I exist in this world? I mean, you know, Because I sit here all the time and I think about stuff. And one of the things that I think about more than anything in the world, I think to myself, if I was to win the lottery, if I was to win a large, substantial amount of money in the lottery, would I still work? Would I still go to work every day? And would I put up with a boss, or would I just tell her to go, would I just tell her to, F off? No, I probably wouldn't. I probably would still go to work, because I'm the kind of person who would love to go to their job still. I would just have a big, huge weight lifted off of my shoulders, but I would have people who would come out of the woodwork and be like, hey, Jack, remember that time I borrowed you like $250, Because everybody will turn around and use you when you have something they don't have. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I mean, I don't know what my friends would do. But I know one thing. If I had money and everything else, I could probably get some things taken care of. Yeah. I'd probably get a lot of my debts, a lot of my stuff taken care of, and get my life back on track. But see, the thing is that you can get your life back on track if you really and truly wanted to. Yeah. If you set up a payment plan to take care of all your debts, at least you're making payments on your debts. Yeah. You're trying. Even though it's like $5 here or $5 there, at least you're making payments. Yeah. Well, this is a big backup. Usually on 94, there's not any traffic like this. Holy crap. This goes all the way up to Highway 25 by Monticello. Yeah. I wonder if they're going to make people go over to 212 and have them come back. Yeah, go down to Highway 55 and go to 212. Yeah. Because if they're going to go that route, Highway 55 to 212 is not a bad idea right about now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go down to 212. You take 25 all the way down to 212. And then go to the airport. I don't know. I mean, I'm actually thinking about that now. But, I don't know how far the traffic is backed up at. I don't know why you're honking. There's no way to go. There's no way to move. Yeah. Yeah, now there's going to probably be a big, huge sign about this the other day, or after this is all cleared out and everything else. It's going to be one of those big signs that says, like, you know, don't text and drive or something like that. But who the hell even listens to that thing? Well, at least it's better than talking about the air quality. Fucking air quality sign was up for 3 days. Or like it was up for like the whole weekend. Air quality bad. Air quality bad. Well, yeah, the air quality is bad, you know? I don't know. I find it funny because I think people are going to go to Buffalo and then they're going to take 25 and they're going to go all the way to 212 and go on interstate. I think that's what they're going to do. Yep. I don't know. I still can't believe that I fell asleep through 3 tornadoes. Yeah. I fell asleep through 3 tornadoes in my city. Yeah. There were 3 tornadoes that touched down in St. Cloud, and I fell asleep through all 3 of them. Yeah. I didn't wake up. Yeah. So the accident's on 25. So once we pass 25, we'll be good to go. At least I think so, anyway. Yeah. You think? I don't know, man. I really have no clue. I sometimes just drive the bus and try to figure out what's going on. "73 degrees outside and open air. Doesn't look like there's any clouds in the sky. Doesn't look like it's going to rain. So people are just doing U-turns and just turning around up here on these U-turn things, and they're going back the other way. What is that going to accomplish? Yeah, they're trying to get down to the cities. But the accident is at Road 25. It's right there, and there's so many people turning around at this U-turn, at this no U-turn thing up here. This is going to cause more of an accident up here. I don't understand why people are doing U-turns. I mean, have they ever been in a traffic jam before? Holy fucking crap. A dude in a big semi-truck is going to do a U-turn? That's a bad idea. Holy shit balls. Why? Oh, God. He's going to go to Highway 24, and then he's going to go on 10, and then go back down to the cities. That's what he's going to try to do. I don't know, man. I mean, sometimes you just have to ride it out. You know, sometimes they throw up hurdles and, you know, they throw up, you know, things just so that you can just, you know, have enough patience to go through them to see what happens, you know? And at the end of the day, you try. You try to make it work. I just sometimes don't understand where I come off wrong, you know? Yeah, so the program that I use is going subscription now, and they want you to pay for the subscription now so that you can multi-stream, because for some odd reason, since I've been using this program a lot and I enjoy it, and it's really easy to do stuff now, they're going to get rid of it. They're going to make it so that I have to pay to get a subscription, then that way I can send it to different platforms. Yeah, there's a light somewhere after this. People turning their flashers on. People are thinking, oh, I can do a U-turn and get the hell out of here. Now watch, if I did a U-turn, I'd be arrested. Yeah. Nope. They said the accident was at 25. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? I don't know. You made it through your surgery. All right, Mark. Good for you, buddy. I'm stuck in traffic right now. And I'm only at Monticello. And I'm having one of those kind of days. I'm sorry that I'm not there for you to help you out and everything else with everything that you need, but I'm trying my damnedest. I just don't know where the hell I'm supposed to be right now. Sometimes I say, you're doing okay. I know I'm doing okay with the company. I know I'm doing okay with everything that, everybody wants me to do, but I just don't feel like it in my head, Mark. I feel like, there's an anti-Jack barrier that just, he's right there, but he's just not good enough. Because if things were to change for me, like I was to come into money or win the lottery or something, then maybe I'd feel good about myself. But I don't think I'm ever going to feel good enough until I have no more debts. I have, I'm over this divorce. Or I don't have somebody holding on to the paperwork. If I had the paperwork in my hand, then I would know that, it's my turn to get the shit done. But I don't even know what's going on with it. I'm not trying, and that's not a dig at Joe, okay? So if anybody's watching, that's not a dig at Joe. I'm just trying to figure out where everything is, because when you don't talk to the person that you're going through a divorce with, you'd have no idea why you're talking to them still, you don't know what's going on. You're up in the air, but it's all good. I'm not digging at Joe. I never have dug at Joe. I mean, I've always told her that I feel. Like I said, I took a girl who was a sweet little English lady and ruined her entire life. Yeah. I think we all have those feelings. Maybe it's okay to know you're not alone in these things. Well, the thing is that if I go and talk to a therapist about it, do you know that when the therapist is sitting there writing words and writing stuff on a piece of paper, I always wonder what the hell she's writing. I always wonder if she's just sitting there writing a prescription for me to go to a nut house and for them to tie me up in a straitjacket and throw me into a room. I saw a thing the other day. It was a test. It was a thing on Instagram or something, and it said, for $1 million, could you live in a house with no electronic devices, no internet, no nothing, but you had all the food you need, you had all the stuff that you could have, and you could bring a dog with you if you wanted. I said, you know what? I could do that shit. Yeah, I could do that shit, but the thing is that my job wouldn't let me do it. No, I'd have to quit my job. And I don't want to quit my job. No. But I could survive living in a house out in the middle of nowhere for $1 million. Yeah. I'd be talking to myself all the time. Like I do now. I'd be my own best friend. I mean, the floors would probably be sticky after a couple of days, but I don't know, man. But I know that I could probably survive. I know you are, Mark. Mark, I know you are. I just say that I wish that there were, I just wish that there were more and more people, that, I don't know, I know I have friends, but I wish there was so-called, people that would actually really understand, where I'm going through. Why are you moving over? Word. Okay, why would you get over? I mean, is it the left lane that's fucked up or the right lane that's messed up? See, when they have a road shut down, they don't tell you right lane, left lane, or whatever. They just say, Highway 25, closed. That's it. Hey, look, it's starting to speed up. Now everybody's going to want to get in the lane that's moving. I bet the guy in the Kia Rio now is like, holy shit, I wish I would have stayed in that lane. Name is Rio and he's dancing on the stage. No, he's hitting his head on the steering wheel going, I'm an idiot for moving. I'm not going very fast because, one, I'm waiting for that asshole to jump in front of me. Alright, see? Now they're over there. So the police and ambulance are over on Highway 25. So everybody just, get the fuck, away from me here. Hey, we're moving. That didn't take long, very long, at all. I know you're my friend, Mark. I love you too, buddy. Thing is that when you say you love somebody, some people just look at you really, really funny. They're like, why do you say you love somebody? And the reasoning is because I do. I love everybody. I literally would throw my own shirt off my back and give it to somebody because that's just the kind of person that I am. And a lot of people don't understand that. That's probably my girlfriend or something. I hope it is, because, okay, I'm not going to read it right now. I can't. But I'm just trying to live my life every day like it's my fullest. Because I try to be happy all the time. Did this guy come over here and get pictures? Oh yeah, something happened. Oh yeah, something happened. Somebody had a guardrail. Oh damn. So a transit bus or a truck, holy shit, crashed into a semi-truck. Ouch. That was like David versus Goliath. That wasn't good. Now they're telling people to move over. Maybe it was a good thing I did go in this lane. Everybody's like, I want to get over. I moved over just because I was trying to help out the situation and not make it worse. You know, what the actual fuck sometimes? Come on, Amazon truck, go. Get your fucking big ass over there, you douche nuts. No, you stay over there because you're an ass nuts. Yeah, fuck around and find out. But anyway, yeah, I know. I know you flashed me. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. I just, you know, it's not that I sit here and wonder every day why things happen for a reason, but I just think that more and more people, they live their life sometimes wondering, and that's what I do. I wonder all the time. Dude, you have no idea how much I wonder about things. Like, I'll be driving down the road sometimes and I'll look at the person next to me, you know, when they're driving, like, and they look at me in the van, and we lock eyes, and I wonder what exactly that person's thinking at that time. Yeah. I wonder what the person next to me is thinking. That's how my mind works so much. I mean, I watched a dude one time pick his freaking nose one time next to me, and, like, different kinds of love. I've been where you are. I figured out that lots of things don't go my way, and I've learned to create or to content with them. A lot of people have. A lot of people content with a lot of things. Sometimes if things don't go a certain person's way, like one of the things about me, and I suffer from this a lot, and one day I was in my apartment, and I shut the cabinet door of my apartment one time, and what happened was the door on the top, it cracked, and then it fell, it bent. It came forward, bent, broke off the bottom hinge, and hit me right in the forehead. And I haven't talked to my landlord yet, because I don't want my landlord to sit there and go, well, probably you got pissed off and ripped the door off. Well, that's not what I did, cheek. What I did was I shut the door, the top hinge broke, and then the bottom hinge bent, and the door hit me in the face. So, answer me that one. How in the hell is that even possible? Because I would truly love to know. Nipples to my knees. Okay. I thought it was pretty... Well, you know, when they do surgery, Mark, they have to shave you because they don't want hairs to end up back inside you for the surgery. Because that hair will tickle your entire body sometimes and mess up your whole entire day. Because nobody likes unwanted body hair. I mean, nobody likes the and they're planning all this road out now. But anyway, well, maybe when we get to the airport, I'll be able to go right away. Go at 9 and pick up somebody at 11. I'll get down to the airport and I'll probably have nobody coming back because somebody else will already have picked them up because, you know, they were stuck in the same traffic that I was in. It happens. Am I worried about it? No. Do I love my job? Yes. Do I feel like $1 million sometimes? Hell no. One of the things about me that I'm realizing now is that I don't think people are really having relationships anymore. I think what people are doing now in relationships, and I think this is really, I think people are just meeting online. They're meeting online just to see how far it goes. But I don't think they really have intentions to marry. Yeah. Like, my thing is, you thought you were 12 again? Mark, I don't need to know that you were shaven. That's, like, too much, okay? I understand you had your surgery, but, dude, yeah, a shaven skin is, like, when you have no body hair and you don't look like Sasquatch, I mean, it's a totally different thing. I mean, I used to shave my chest, my testicles, and everything else. Because the reason why I liked it, you know, shaven down there was because when women, you know, are down there, they don't want, like, hair to get stuck in their mouth. Yes. So, yeah, too much social media. Is that you or me? But the thing is that I like the situation that I'm in right now because I feel like, you know, there's not a care in the world. Maybe they're opening the road up. Finally, I'm moving. Woo! Yeah! We're moving, Chico! Woo! Anyway, but I think more and more people are online now when they're dating. I think basically what people are doing online now is they're basically just looking for somebody who's DTF. And if you're a part of the Jersey Shore family, DTF is down to fuck. So I think that's what they're looking for, is what they're looking for. They want to go out with somebody, they want to talk, they want to date, and then they just want to fuck. Or they want to be, they're down for friends, you know? Yeah. Down to be friends, you know? Or something like that, you know? But not everybody, like me, I am looking for somebody to share the KamoKlauZ thing with. Because I think that is cool. I think, you know, rolling around, you know, Mrs. Claus and KamoKlauZ, I think that's really cool. I think that is what I'm looking for. And when I tell people that I'm looking for the next Mrs. Claus, they're kind of like, what? Well, if you think about it, guys, I mean, the whole KamoKlauZ thing is mine. I own the rights to it. Nobody can take that from me because I came up with it 13 years ago. I own the rights to KamoKlauZ. Yes, I own that. That's my thing. You can't take it from me. You can't buy it from me. You can't take it from me because it's my shit. I'm the one that started it. And then, if just by some magical fucking twist of events, this divorce finally goes through, when I get to change my name in the state of Minnesota to Jaximus Frosty Claus, aka KamoKlauZ, I can finally legally have my name the way that I want it. Because that's what I'm thinking of doing. I mean, I'm thinking of just going and getting my name changed anyway and paying for it to get it changed, because I think, I want to get it done. I want to get it done. I want to get it changed because I want to be me. I want to do something that makes me happy. But yet, I can't have that freedom, that love, until we get this paperwork done. But that's not a dig at Joe. So every time I say something about the paperwork, or I say something about, it getting done, I'm not bashing her. I am not saying anything bad about her. I've never said anything bad about Joe. I basically have told her that I was the problem in our relationship. I actually said that I was the one that ruined the entire relationship. I am the root and the cause and the problem for everything in that relationship. And if anybody wants to, tell me that I did a good job, then tell me I did a good job. But the thing is I think if Joe were to tell you right now, I think Joe were to tell you that I'm absolutely right. I think I was the one that ruined everybody in that family. I ruined the kids, I ruined Joe, and I ruined us. So I'm taking responsibilities for my actions. Because that's the kind of person that I am. Because there is nobody else who messed that up. That was all me. And I know this. But I'm not worried about it. I just would like everything to be fine so that Joe can live her life and enjoy her life with her family and not worry about me anymore. So that she can someday read about me in the paper in the obituary section when after I, live my life as KamoKlauZ and then I turn 98 years of age and I'm dying of old age because, it's time for me to grow old, Or KamoKlauZ lives to be 100, That would be cool, But I don't know. I just sit here and, I wonder, how long I'm ever going to live, and I don't know. I just wonder a lot of things, and I'm scared sometimes. I'm scared what the future's going to hold. I hope to be 100% honest with you. I hope that my parents don't have to bury me, because no parent ever wants to bury their child. No. Yeah, no parent ever wants to bury their kids. But sometimes I feel like, I'm going to be sitting at home enjoying like a steak or something, and then I'm just going to end up, keeling over, or something's going to happen to me. But, and I don't know why I feel that, because these dreams that I've had and these things that I've had, I've seen visions. I've seen it out of me. But my friend Mark, my friend Mark here, he's had so many things going on with his life, with surgeries and, with his heart and with everything else. And, I would never wish that on anybody. I would never wish anybody to have anything wrong with them. I would just wish them to have a healthy and wonderful life. But 90% of the time, people in this world go through things that they have no control over. And sometimes it scares the shit out of them. It makes them so scared that they're freaking the frick out. They're so scared that they don't know what's coming in their life. I watched a documentary on this girl. She was a girl that had breast cancer. She was one of the most popular girls in school. She was a cheerleader. She was great. Everything else. She was like 18 or something like that. She was going to graduate high school, but she had breast cancer. And she had breast cancer. And I watched it. I don't know what channel I was watching, and it just came on. It was on TV, and it was on something, and I can't remember what channel it was. Or it was some girl that was, she was very popular. She was very popular. She was very popular in school. She was like the cheerleader, the class clown, everything else, and she was really cool, and and she was like the head cheerleader. And then she ended up having breast cancer when she was 18 or in high school, and they had to remove both of her breasts, and she ended up becoming a bodybuilder. She ended up becoming a power lifter, and she ended up, beating cancer, and she ended up just going out there and doing everything by lifting weights. And her thing is that she said was, that sometimes breasts are just fat pillows that are in the way when you work out, and now that you don't have them, and you go and you do lifting and stuff, and you build up your chest muscles and everything, now you look like, a girl that could play a Sarah Connor in like a movie where you could just be the badass girl, or look like a badass guy who's a bodybuilder. And that's what she went and did. And she never ever thought about getting surgery again, because she was like, well, she always thought that maybe she got breast cancer because of the surgery when she was younger. She got plastic, she had implants when she was, in high school. So that's where she thought she got the cancer from. But I don't know. I mean, I watched the documentary, and I was very proud of her. I was very happy that she went on and lived her life. And I don't even know the person. I just thought that if I was ever to meet her, we'd be really good friends, because I think it'd be really cool for her to talk about her story and for her to come on my podcast. But that's just, neither here nor there. But I mean, there's a guy that's on Instagram. His name's Joey Swole, and Joey Swole is a guy who posts a lot of videos about people in the gym, and they do a lot of gym videos, and they put up their camera, and then they film themselves in the gym, and then somebody will walk by and say something about them or laugh at them, and then he'll be like, well, I hate these kind of people, and when you set your camera up in the gym and you laugh at them because they're not making the same gains as you are, but they're in the gym busting their ass, so it's not fair to laugh. It's stupid to laugh. But the thing is that they're out there giving it their all. I don't have a gym, okay? I work out at home. I have 5-gallon jugs full of sand, and I lift them, and I work with with milk containers that have sand in them. I have ice cream pails that have sand in them, and that's what I do. And I bust my ass using those ice cream containers, and I do what I can to make myself better. Because the thing is that I want to be in shape. I want to look good. Because I want somebody to think that I actually, am decent, and that actually appreciates me for me, But I also want to be able to, live a long life. My dream in life is to be a 65-year-old grandpa who looks like he's 23. Yeah. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I mean, the only way that I can ever get it to happen is if I bust my ass and maybe work out and do things. But you've got to take everything that's given to you and turn it into a much more and more elaborate lifestyle. And it's really hard to do that. Yeah, dude, I'll let you in. Just go ahead. Go ahead, bro. You're good. You're good. Yeah, you're good, dude. Slow down. Calm down. You're good. You're good. I got you. But the thing is in life is people are always out there to get people to want them to approve of them, to want to love them, to, think that they matter. And me, I try to do everything to make people like me, because I always have this thing like I'm like Eeyore. And I call it the Eeyore syndrome. And what it is basically I feel like I go out there like Tigger. Yeah. I go out there like Tigger and Winnie the Pooh, and people love me, but then after everything's all said and done, the rain starts coming down on me, and nobody wants to talk to me anymore. So I'm kind of just sitting there like, woe is me, I'll just be over here in the corner if you need me, And that's kind of how I feel. And a lot of people don't know that, because a lot of people don't really know my past. And a lot of things about me, I tell people things, and they're like, dude, you're just trying to do that. You're just saying that because you're trying to get attention. Well, I'm not trying to get attention. No. It happened in my life. Things like that happened. I'm going to get a little bit graphic here. I have said this before, and I've said it again. I was in the second grade, and I had a teacher that touched me inappropriately in a public bathroom, and it was not cool. She was a 25-year-old substitute teacher from Texas. She was somebody who was the substitute teacher for somebody at Laurel Ridge Elementary School, and I don't remember who she was, but she saw me and she touched me inappropriately, and I went and tried to tell my parents about it, and they were like, you're basically just trying to get attention, or you're trying to get somebody to feel sorry for you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I've had that I've had that on my burden since I was 7. And I'm 45 now. So that's a lot of time. And I've never talked about it till now. I mean, I don't talk about things like that because, well, I just never knew where to go. I mean, if my parents say that they've never heard me talk about that, then it's because I don't really think they were listening to me. But it happened. But do I want anything now from it? No. I'll just tell my story. You know? I mean, I've had nannies do the same thing to me. I've had babysitters do the same thing to me too. You know? But it's all good. It's all good. It's all stuff that happened in my life, and it's over and done with. And now it's time to move on. Because the thing is that it's something that happened in my life that I have no control over. I had no control over it, but I just let it go. Because the thing is that it was so long ago. It was so long ago, and I just said, you know what? It's over and done with. I'm probably not even going to bring it up. Well, no, I'm going to bring it up because I want to talk about it. But, you know, it happened. And it happened, and now it's over with. And I'm 45 years of age, and I'm the way that I am because I had something that happened to me that I had no control over. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But I have gone on, and I still love my parents. I still love my parents. I did one of those 23andMe things, and I did one of those for a joke, just to see where I stand, and see what I was, and it told me that I was like Norwegian, Scandinavian Viking, or Scandinavian, German, Holland, Deutschland, and Scottish is what it came up as, and some Russian. Yeah, some Russian. And I got rid of everything. I deleted everything from it because I thought it was a joke. So I have always been questioning, I've always been questioning my relationship with my parents, but I love my mom and dad, and I don't care what anything says. I mean, it's just that I feel really distant from my parents because, one, we don't talk much. I only talk to my parents every once in a while, and that's probably because that's my fault. Because I don't talk to them every day. I don't call them every day and say, hey, I love you, but I do. My old friends, like Brian Sullivan, I try to talk to him every day, and I try to tell him, hey, man, I love you, bro. I love you for being there for me, and I love you for understanding. Because I'll tell you right now, he doesn't want to find out someday that I'm dead and that he missed out on saying goodbye. Because sometimes people wonder that. People wonder, are we going to find out that Jack's, either in jail or Jack's dead, or that Jack is just going to have problems and he's going to keep talking about it on Facebook. Well, I'm sorry, guys, but this is my life. And I put my life out there on Facebook and YouTube because, one, I like to share my life with people even though things are private in my life, because, you know, I think that if people are more open about themselves and upfront and honest about them, then maybe people will understand, you know, and they won't think so much negativity about somebody when they meet somebody. You know, every time I chat with somebody, you know, on Facebook, and I chat with them and I talk to them, I say, hey, let's have a video chat. Because I would rather video chat with somebody than sit there and send tens of thousands of text messages back and forth and not show any emotion or any feeling at all towards the person. But if we face-to-face video chatted, you'd basically get to see who I am, and I'd basically get to see who you are, and then I wouldn't think that you're a guy living in a bunker in Kenya, or living somewhere in the middle of, you know, the desert somewhere, trying to get information, or trying to have me buy you an iPhone. You know, I just want people to live their lives and understand that there is a positive world out there, and it doesn't take much but a face-to-face chat to have friends. And you know what? If they want people to have real check marks next to their name to make them a legitimate person, or to make them, you know, to make them real, then so be it. Because if you have to pay for it to make people understand that you're real, then dude, I'm down for that. Because I want people to know who I am. I am JakKlauZ, Frosty Claus, aka KamoKlauZ, who was once Jonathan Craning. Yes, I was once Jonathan Edward Craning, or Jack Edward Craning. But the reason why I changed my name to JakKlauZ, Frosty Claus, is because I wanted to better myself. I want to be who I want to be. So I have taken the liberty of being 45 years of age and hit that mark. And now it's time for me to change. Because I think I've lived 45 years to 50 years of my life being what God wanted me to be. But now I've understood that I want to change my life for the better and be a new person. So I'm allowing myself to have one redo, which means I'm allowing myself to change my perspective on life. And dude, you and the pilot over here running up the backside of this motorcycle's ass better friggin' make your decision on passing or do something, because if you run up this motorcycle's butt, I'm going to be very upset. That's why I'm backing up, so you can give this motorcycle some space. Do not ride that close to the motorcycle's ass. Dude, give him some space, bro. Why do you think I'm giving a distance to motorcycles? Because nobody gives anybody distance to motorcycles. No, because the guy in the Honda Pilot is like right on the motorcycle's ass. So like if he were to crash, the pilot would run right over the guy on the motorcycle. He's got a 4-second, like he's got like a 2-second following distance on the motorcycle, which is like ridiculous. He needs to be further back. But what do I know? What do I fucking know? I don't know anything. You know? I don't know, man. But, so, nowadays, I'm just sitting here every day, living my life one day at a time. I live my life one day at a time. I get on this program called Prism, and I record my life story. I record the JakKlauZ show. And I tell people what's going on for the week or for the day. I do it in an hour to hour and a half long show, for somebody to watch. If they really and truly want to watch it, they can. If not, it's basically like a TV show. Because I can't put everything in 30-minute short little shows, because it's always on my mind. And I think that if I don't record it, or I don't do it, I'm going to miss out on something. And I'm just going to not ever, I'm just not going to feel like I matter. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I sit here and I think to myself, is it my time to shine? Is it my time for something to happen in my life? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Or is that just a train coming to run me off the tracks? And I sit there and I think to myself, dude, how much more does a person have to give? Does a person have to, I went through Skyping with a woman, and then I went to go meet her, and then she came to meet me, and when she came to meet me and everything else, I thought, dude, this is the best woman in the world. She's the greatest woman in my life. I want to be with her for the rest of my life. And that's why I proposed to Joe. That's why I loved her when I first met her, when she came over here, because she turned out to be a great girl. And I loved Joe. And I loved her, and I loved her, and I loved her, and I loved her. But then over time, I still loved her. But then I realized that I was the problem. And I was like, you know what? I don't need to be with this woman anymore, because I just don't. So maybe it's just time for me to move on. But I don't want to make her feel like I want her to feel like she gets it. Like she knows that I messed up. So that's why I've taken it. Look, I'm the one that ruined this relationship. Because I'm done. I'm done hurting. I want to be a part of anybody else's life, because I don't want to hurt them either. But, the person that I'm with now, and she thinks I'm great, so I always think that she's right. Because there is a bond, and there is a thing there. And that's how it always is going to be. But I'm not trying to rush anybody. I'm not trying to make anybody, hurt. I'm not trying to make anybody feel like they don't want to feel happy with me. So, I get it, I'm just happy that somebody out there, loves me, and I have friends that love me, and I have people who care about me, and that make me feel like I matter. Because there are times when I just feel like, sometimes I just feel like I don't matter, like I'm not supposed to be here. And I just say to myself, you know what? I feel like, you know, I feel like the dunce cap is removed, and I feel like, you know, I can keep being me, the entertainer. Because that's what I am. I'm not the situation, I'm the entertainer. Yeah, I'm called the entertainment. I'm the MC, the master of ceremonies. I'm not DJ Pauly D, I'm the MC of ceremonies. I'm the entertainer. I'm the one that can sing if I need to. I'm the one that can make you laugh like the comedian, but I'm the entertainment. Yeah. I'm JakKlauZ, the entertainment. Yeah. Because I could be the piano man. I could be the clown. I could be the guy who brings the house down. Yeah. But I can also be the guy who brings the pain. I can also be the guy who brings the suffering, the punisher. I can also be the destruction. I can also be Batman. Find my puppy. No, I can, you know, I can basically be just anything. So I figured I'll just call myself the entertainment. Because I am the entertainer. I am Captain Jack. I'm the one that'll get you high tonight. Just a little push is all you need. And I'll get you by tonight. You know, they say that Captain Jack will get you by tonight. Thanks, Billy Joel. But I am the entertainer. I'm the person who likes to be the life of the party. Even though when the party's all over and I go home, I sit in the corner, or I sit there all by myself. And I still am trying to be the life of the party even though the party's over. Last week I did karaoke. Did the song Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue for the 250 years of the Army. I thanked the servicemen and women that were at the bar, and I said, you know, thank you for what you do. And, you know, I did what I did, you know. Nice Jeep. And, you know, I thank the servicemen and women of what they do. And I did the song, and as soon as I jumped off the stage, everybody was like, holy shit, dude, you can actually sing. And I said, well, I am the entertainer. Yep. And everybody at the bar was like, yeah, he is. And then I was about to say, it's at 12 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. Well, the old men are practicing politics, talking politics, making love to their tonic and gin. Anyway. But I sit here and I think to myself every day, and I wonder, You know, I live my life like it's my last day on this earth. Those 24 hours before I have to go to work, or when I'm driving this van, or when I'm laying in bed, or when I'm watching TV, I realize to myself, there's somebody out there thinking about me because they're watching the YouTube. Why does he do these videos about himself and beats himself up all the time? Well, because you guys don't know the whole story. You just know what you see for an hour and 45 minutes of what you see. But if you've watched all my videos on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, and you've realized to yourself that, oh my God, you've watched a lot of stuff about me, you learn a lot about me. There also is another channel that used to be around, and it was on YouTube, and it was called, the Berserker Naked Podcast. And so I used to do the Berserker Naked Podcast, which was the naked truth about a lot of things. Now, I got rid of the Berserker Naked Podcast, and I started the JakKlauZ show in replace of that, because I'm still going to tell you the naked truth. Yeah, I'm going to tell you the naked truth. And you guys are sitting there thinking, my God, this guy plays Santa Claus, but this guy talks about things like everyday life, and he's not afraid to sugarcoat stuff, and he's not afraid to, say things that, that aren't, kid-friendly and worthy and everything else. But he does it because he's got a big heart, and he does it because he can. And the one thing that people don't understand and they don't get is that they don't understand that there is a guy underneath this, or a guy that plays a Santa Claus, but he's also an adult. I mean, I'm 45 years of age. I live my life. I enjoy what I do. I love being around kids, and I love being around adults at Christmas time. But I am your non-traditional Santa Claus. I am a person who wears a red and green camo suit, and I call myself KamoKlauZ. KamoKlauZ, or KLAUS, or CamoClause. Just because that's who I am. I'm KamoKlauZ. And why am I KamoKlauZ? Because you're not. Because I took something that I looked up on the internet. Yeah, I took something that I looked up on the internet and was like, you know what? I'm going to do this because, because nobody else wanted to. Yeah, because nobody else wanted to. So basically, you're just going to keep coming and cut me off because you didn't have any freaking patience to stay behind me. Assholes. God, I hate when people do that shit. I mean, yeah, I get it, that you let somebody in, but, I mean, you don't need to do that zipper thing where you go all the way up to the fucking cones and then cut somebody off, But anyway, no, but yes, I love being around kids. And when I'm around kids, I don't use swear words. I don't say bad language. No. But I am not your traditional Santa Claus. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not bad Santa. So I heard somebody say, so you're like bad Santa. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I am Santa's cousin. I am a guy who looked up KamoKlauZ a long time ago. I looked it up on the internet. And you know what I found? I found an ornament. A Santa ornament. Like a Christmas ornament that hangs on your tree. And it was Santa Claus wearing a camo outfit. Yeah, camo outfit. But it wasn't called KamoKlauZ. No, it wasn't. It was just Santa in a camo outfit. That's what it was called. It wasn't KamoKlauZ. It wasn't anything like this. And I'm surprised Duck Dynasty didn't have a thing in store for KamoKlauZ. So I took it. I took it and ran with it 13 years ago. I started KamoKlauZ. I started doing what I was supposed to do, and I took it. I made a name for myself, and I am just going to keep on keeping on doing KamoKlauZ 365 days a year, and I'm going to keep on spreading cheer. Well, the guy in the red suit works only one day out of the year and sleeps 364 days a year. So, think about that. So, my final thought now that I'm getting closer to the airport. Come on, get in. My final thought now that I'm getting closer to the airport is this. I just want to say that, yes, I'm having issues. I'm getting over these issues. And I'm having a little bit of a situation. But I'm learning how to cope with it. I'm getting over it. And yes, I'm dealing with my own problems. So the thing is that I am going to deal with my own problems. I am going to take care of my own problems. Because that's the only way that I feel fit, is to take care of my own problems. I love anybody who wants to help me talk about it. I love anybody who's there for me. Like Mark tonight, you were there for me. Like a primetime player like you are. And I get it. You know, you have nothing better to do, so you watch the entire show. Which I thank you. But I know you're always going to be there for me because you're my boy, you're my friend, and you know, you tell me how it is. Jose, new guy that I met, he's a great guy. He's a guy for JL Construction. He's a great dude. You know, he always, you know, talks to me, and he sees my Facebook sometimes, and he wonders. And then John at work, he always watches the show, and he talks to me about it the next day. And he realizes to himself that, you know, he's like, hey, I get it. You know, you're cool. You got something in the limelight. And we're always working on trying to better ourselves, one day at a time. And, you know, there is a time and a place in a person's life when they need to realize to themselves that there is more than life than just what you read on a person's Facebook wall or what you see on a video. But seeing the whole entire life and the emotions going through every day, that's kind of how I feel. And yes, it shows up on my Facebook feed, but the thing is that it's only live on my Facebook feed. The actual real post is on my YouTube channel, which I never really share KamoKlauZ on YouTube or the something network. Oh, here we go. The network's back. But anyway, I just want to say that I love you guys, and I'm getting down into my final thought because I'm getting. So, you know, I also got a Kegel trainer, so that's going to come. So I'm going to show you guys what a Kegel trainer is, and that helps the men. Yep, it's Kegel exercises for the pelvic muscles, so that men can, sustain longer erections and work their Kegel muscles and make their soldier stand on end and make their lady happy. So that's what I'm going to try to do. But I just want to say that I love you guys, and I hope that you guys have a great night and that you enjoyed the show. I just, sorry that I came off a little bit uneasy on the beginning. But like I said, I started off like a hare, and I go really fast, and then I come in like a tortoise, slow and steady and safe to win the race. Because, nobody really wants to see me flip out, and nobody really wants to see me lose my shit. But sometimes I get really upset on these things, and I start yelling at God, and I start getting mad, and I start realizing to myself that I'm not good anymore. But then, you know what? I just realized to myself that God's watching over us, and God protects those He loves. So, if He really loves me, then He must be doing something right, or I must be doing something right, because I'm still here. But all I want to say is that you guys have a great night, great morning. I just want to say thanks again for watching the show, and I hope I really don't annoy you, because the thing is that I just do this show because I just want to reach out to my friends, my family, and my fans, and just hope that somebody out there someday will pay me to do my own reality show. But I don't want to be 50 years of age and keep doing this and not have anybody watch me. So we gotta get on the horn on that one, because we're getting around to being 46, so my life is coming up pretty fast. But if you never take life too serious, you'll never get out alive, right, Ferris Bueller? All right. So thanks again for watching. I love you guys, and yeah. All right.